Hello everybody and welcome back to Tony Northeastern. Now in the last video we completed the ballasting. So now it's time to put this bridge back. But there's one or two little jobs we need to do first. Basically there's some foliage to put in. The brick wall needs painting around there. Some paper mache to do here, here and on this wall here as well, and on that side. Now I have left a space there marked WT for the water tower, which I've looked online and I can't find one that matches the one that South Shields had, so I'm going to have to make that from scratch. But that won't be in this video. This video is about putting back the Riverside bridge. Starting with the right hand side of the bridge, I'm going to work my way along, putting PVA down on the ground to give it a base before I start putting the paper mache in, starting from that corner there. So we're just going to get some PVA and put plenty on. Just put it in the marked spaces and then spread it about a bit. Now that I have my PVA base, I can now start adding some newspaper. So just by crumpling it up, I'm not going to even bother putting any glue on it. I'm just going to push it in place like so and let the glue do its job. Just twisting it around into like sausage leg shape, because it's not very high, this embankment, not very high at all. Right, so that's the first layer, and what I'll do now is I'll make a second layer just to make it that a little bit taller in some places, just by doing the same again, but this time dipping it into some watery PVA solution, 50-50 mix, and just putting it in a few places just to give it some extra height. And then the drier pieces underneath should soak up some of the moisture of the pieces that are going in now. It will flatten down once we start doing the smaller pieces to cover the top. By the way, the newspaper I'm using is a Daily Star from December the 17th, 2015. And if you're looking for a football result, it was 2-1 to Leicester on that day. just if you're interested. Right, so now the fun begins, the messy part. Tearing the newspaper up into really thin pieces and then dipping them in the PVA. And then obviously the weight of the paper and the glue should flatten all this lot down. Yeah, hasn't times changed since 2015? Right, I shall continue with this and see you later. Right, that's all the paper mache done. This has had 2 coats of paper mache, so that's quite tough. This one's still a bit damp, and I've also done this side as well, between the wall and the backboard. So we're almost good to go for painting the soil in some places. Also finishing off little things like some ballasting here, but it'll be mixed ballast, some greenery. So that's the next job, just to paint it all up, give it a dirty browny colour, ready for the greenery. Right, I've just mixed up a batch of really dirty grimy earth brown, just using acrylic paints. In the acrylic paints I've added a tiny touch of water and a little tiny drop of PVA, and it is a really filthy brown. No, see, but soil is filthy, so you always paint your landscapes brown first before you put any greenery on. It's just so that any greenery scatter that you put on, if it's a little bit patchy, you can still see the earth underneath, really. So that's for. Right, so the paint has had 2 coats of paint on it. It's still wet, so we'll leave that for now before I can do any scatter. But in the meantime, we're just going to do this piece. I've mixed up another batch of watery grey. I've used a little bit of that dark brown acrylic and just mixed it up. It's quite watery, this, and the reason being is I'm going to add some ballast in places, so I need it to be quite watery. It's got PVA wood glue in it as well. That looks a bit too light for me. I think I might have to add a bit more black. Right, I've added a bit more black, and I've added a bit more water, and that's a bit better. I'm just going right up to the edge of the tracks, as you can see. Right, while it's still wet, just sprinkle a little bit of ballast here and there, a little bit of black ballast there, and that will dry into the paint. also have a little bit of grey ballast as well. And just sprinkle it in, just here and there. But what I'll do, where the grey ballast is, I'll get a smaller brush and add some tyre marks. A bit more coal over that side as well. Just so it looks like some vehicles have been through there. I might even darken that down later on, but I'm doing this while it's all wet. And sometime later it all looks like this. Here I've just added some mixture of ballast, brown, greys and blacks just underneath the buttress there on both sides, and the rest I've just used Grayscale in this area here, and the brown will be where the green foliage would be. So now we're ready to put the bridge back. Right, I have now placed the bridge base onto the buttresses and it's glued and pinned. The pavement slabs hide the pins that's gone through, so there's a pin under there, under each four corners. And it's been over, what, 5 weeks since that last sat on there? Right, so the next thing is to paint the road. I'll paint the road and then we can glue the bridge arches onto it then. So I'm going to go with a grey black on the road, just to see what it looks like. So let's have a look. And now we have tarmac. All it is a acrylic black with a tiny touch of grey added. And that's dried pretty quick. I'm surprised how quick that's dried. So let's put the spans on. Now that the spans are in place, we have our first vehicle crossing the bridge. So there's just one more thing left to do. Put the handrails on the side. But I haven't painted those yet, so I better get on with it then. Right, as you can see, I'm just about to put in the handrails for the bridge. I've just painted them just a slightly dark green, just to add a little bit difference in contrast really. It's a little bit trickier than I thought it was going to be. Trying to keep it on the edge. Aha! You've caught me at the right moment. I'm just putting in the finishing touches to the railings. It's just where I've had to trim this little bit to make it fit, and in doing so I just happened to remove some of the paint. Right, Right, let's zoom you out. You can have a proper look then. Right, now that we've zoomed you out, you can now have a proper look at the bridge. It's got full flow of traffic now, and the green handrailings really do set it off. There is another YouTuber actually building another curved bridge along the similar lines to this one. His name is Charlie McGowan. If you want to go and check him out, not sure if he's finished it yet, but it's built along the same lines using 2mm card. I've also weathered it very slightly, not over the top, just enough to, because of the period I'm building the railway in. This bridge is only about, I don't know, about 20-30 years old at this period in the 1950s. So, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. And now that the ballast is done, things are going to start happening pretty quickly now. So, next time, I'm not sure where I'm going to go. I've got too many jobs to choose from, but I'm sure I'll think of something. Anyway, keep safe, look after yourselves, and we'll see you again next time. Bye for now. Bye.